Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in my hot garage in North Texas, and tonight I want to make another Sig P320 video because everyone's doing it. And there's a couple things I want to try out tonight. I know this is going to be a little bit different format than I normally do because I want to, first of all, give you guys a couple of disclaimers when it comes to this video, because the point of this video is to see if I can duplicate the Wyoming Gun Project's results. But this is not a scientific video, and I'm not going to duplicate it exactly like he did by putting screws into my frame. But the whole point, and you guys need to go watch this video because it has blown up. And by the way, the Wyoming Gun Project is a friend of the Texas Gun Vault. In fact, I texted him today, I called him last night. He's been a fan of the channel, and it's really hard to call people fans here of my content, but he watches my channel, he comments a lot. You guys have heard me talk about him, and I personally know him. His name is Matt, and I think he's a great guy, and it's amazing how his video has taken off. I know he's been interviewed by the mainstream media, and I've seen pretty much every other big gun tuber reference his video in some way, and I've even heard rumors that Sig has addressed his video in private meetings. It's amazing what his video has done. And so it's really cool to be able to actually pick up my phone and give him a buzz if I wanted to. And he's just been a great friend of the channel, and he's a super nice guy, and he's very genuine. The other thing I want to do is kind of defend him a little bit, because since I know him, I know he's been getting a lot of haters, people saying that he made up what he presented. And when he made that video, he was a lot smaller than he is now. I guess he's gotten a lot of subscribers because his video has like literally gone mega viral. But people have claimed that his video is either AI generated or he's doing it in front of a green screen. So just to show you here, we don't use a green screen and everything is real. I got all my stuff here in the back and I can touch it all. I can move it all. I can walk back here. Yeah, it's not a green screen. So when I try to duplicate his results, you guys know it's really me. But I'm not going to put in a screw into my frame. But him and I were talking about what could be causing the issue. And we were mentioning that not all P320s exhibit the same functional characteristics. And some of it I think has to do with the model, meaning like the barrel length, the frame length, and also when it was made. So I got four of my personal P320s out, and we're gonna see if I can get the gun to at least release the striker without the trigger being pulled. But I'm even going to try to do it in a way where I am pulling the trigger. But let me explain. So talking to Matt, him and I have come to the conclusion that, and according to other mechanics that understand the design of the gun, the block that prevents the firing pin from entering the chamber, even if it falls off of the sear engagement, is immediately disabled when you pull the trigger back on one of these guns just a little bit. Where on a Glock, the trigger has to travel quite a bit further before that block is disengaged. So if the trigger, for some reason, whether it be because of inertia, something in the holster that's rubbing it, or whatever it is, maybe the trigger return spring is weak and the trigger is back a little bit, the gun gets jostled and the striker falls off of the sear engagement and the block is not engaged. So he put a little screw to hold the trigger back like a millimeter, or not even that much of a millimeter, maybe half of a millimeter, and then was able to move the slide and get that striker to fall. So I've actually tried this a number of times to see if I can duplicate his results. And I know he's not going to be upset with me doing this if I discover that it doesn't work on these guns. So, because he wants to just get to the bottom of the story and the truth. So we're going to start off first with my custom built P320. I made this from all parts that I got from Sig. It uses their custom shop fire control group. So what we're going to do is I'm going to drop the magazine, of course, and safety check the weapon. So I want to see if I pull a trigger back. I'm pretty much going to pull it back as far as I can to where it's like on the wall. Let's see, right about, okay, I see where that's going to be. Right about there. Okay, so I will pull the trigger back quite far, way further back than Matt did. And it just went off. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to see if I can stage it here. Okay, there it is. Now, I'm going to try, oh, it actually did it. That was the first time it actually had done it, because I had tried this before in the safe room and I wasn't able to get any of these guns to do it. So when I came out here, I actually didn't think it would happen, but it just did on this one. Okay, I'm going to see if I can duplicate that again. And as I said, this is not a scientific test because I literally am pulling the trigger back. I'm just trying not to pull it back beyond the wall. So I'm just going to pull it back. Of course, I got to do it this way. I'm right-handed. I'm going to pull it back just that far. I can't get it to do it now. So, see? And if I pull the trigger back, there it goes. Okay, so let me pull it back a little bit further. Okay, I'm really trying to be very generous with this. There we go. Now, okay, that was me pulling the trigger that time. That's pretty far back. I mean, as you can see how far I'm pulling that back? Man, do it again here. And there is a lot of play, and the one thing that Matt and I had talked about was how different models seem to have more play in the slide to frame fit. And we think the models or the guns that have more play are more prone to do this. So I can't duplicate it now again. So let's see, pull that back. Oh, sorry guys, it's a real light trigger on this custom shop fire control unit. So it's pretty far back. I can feel the slide moving. In fact, this is a video that I made a while ago. Check this out. If I pull the trigger back, you can actually see the slide move a little bit. Let me get that back into focus. Come on, there we go. It actually moves up and down. And that slide to frame fit is a little bit different, and it moves. But okay, so I cannot duplicate it again. I did get it to do it one time before, but now I can't do it. So is there something to this? I think there is. I can't do it now. Okay, so that one, I'm going to say I really can't do it with. I had that one result, but I don't know. Okay, so now let's try a commercial P320 M17, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay, so gun is empty. Pull the trigger back, and I'm going to show you how far I'm going to pull this back. About that far, right there, all the way back to where I really get a lot of resistance, which I think is more than 1 millimeter. See, it will still, see, there's the reset. I can't duplicate it on this one. I'll even try. And this one has a stronger, more definitive wall than the custom shop one. And I'm trying to pull that trigger back even further to where I know it's almost going to break. Now, see, that wasn't it. I actually pulled the trigger on that one. Nope, I can't get it to do it on that one. Now, I know that Matt did it on a compact. So here is an M18 commercial 320. Okay, so I feel like the slide to fit on this one is a little bit looser than on the M17. So let's pull that back again. And I'm really pulling pretty far back on that trigger, like a lot. I know it's probably more than 1 millimeter. Man, I'm like almost... Okay, I was able to do it there, but I didn't really... Let me see this. If I can do that again, I'm going to pull it back to... No, that trigger is... See, I was kind of able to do it one time, but if I can't duplicate it many times, I think it's... I don't know. No, I can't do it again. So I think that was probably where I pulled it past the sear. And I am pulling that trigger back a long way. And on this one, you can see, once again, if we can get that in focus, that slide to frame fit moves as I pull that trigger. But I can't seem... No, that wasn't it. I actually pulled the trigger on that time. No, I can't do it that way either. Now, there is something I did notice, and I told Matt, when it comes to the decommissioned one. So this is one that was actually a U.S. military gun. This is a decommissioned M17. It was used by Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 26th Infantry, 2nd Brigade Combat Team of the 101st Airborne Division. And so this one is one of the very early ones that the military took into inventory. And on this one, I noticed, actually, I should probably show you the other ones first. So here's the commercial edition. And I've noticed this with some P320s, that if I slowly release the slide, sometimes it doesn't always go back into battery all the way. So if you don't really slingshot the slide back on, it won't go all the way. So this one works like I think it should. However, let me show you the decommissioned one. So if I pull this back and slowly release it, look at that, right there. And then it will finally drop in the battery. It always kind of sticks, and I've noticed this sometimes with newer out-of-the-box 320s as well. Yeah, see? And I don't know if that has anything to do with it. So maybe when people load it, they don't always have it go fully into battery, and maybe that's what's causing some of these issues. I don't know. So on this one, if I try to do the same thing, pull that trigger back, this one actually has a really tight slide to frame fit. And I can't get it to do it. So once again, this is not supposed to be a scientific test here at all in any way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to duplicate the results. And maybe on this one, which has a really super duper light trigger, I kind of got it to do it, but I don't know. I don't think so. And I'm pulling those triggers back quite far. So I am in no way saying that the Wyoming Gun Project and what Matt did is wrong. I personally believe this is an issue, but it's not an issue across the board with every single pistol. I think it's just from one to the other, and it really kind of depends. I feel like the tolerances of one gun to the next, due to the modularity, you're going to have a little bit of sometimes parts being out of spec, and that's what's causing this, because none of these guns seem to exhibit that. You guys saw how far I was pulling that trigger back. Maybe on this one I got it, but I can't duplicate the results. But as I said, I am in no way insinuating that what the Wyoming Gun Project did was wrong, or he's lying, because he's a personal friend and I know his motivations. I know him, as I said, I've known him before he made that video. It's not like he came out of nowhere. So I do believe him, and I believe that what he discovered is probably an issue on some P320s. Most likely on ones that have poor slide to frame fit, and most likely on the more compact ones, the ones that are the shorter, like the M18 versus the M17. But I'm not saying that's going to be the case. So I think that some of the P320s are safe. I think that some of them are not. So this in no way is a definitive test. I am not defending SIG, nor am I saying the gun is terrible. I just want to get to the bottom of it, and I thought this might be an interesting way of seeing if I can duplicate those results. But I can't with these guns, maybe with this one. So there's probably something to this, but I think it really depends on the pistol itself. So there you go. That's all I wanted to talk about tonight. And if you have not seen the Wyoming Gun Project's video, I will once again put a link to it in the description and probably as a pinned comment. Go watch it. He's a cool guy. Go subscribe to his channel. He does good work, and I'm so happy that he's getting all of this attention. So there you go. So let me know if you have any questions, and if you watch to the end of this video, the word of the day that you can use in a comment is duplicate. Duplicate. Because I wanted to see if I could duplicate. I guess that should be the word. Duplicate or duplicate. Is it the same word? Is it spelled the same? Anyway, use either one. I wanted to see if I could duplicate those results. But I really couldn't. Maybe with this one. So there you go. Not a scientific test in any way, shape, or form. Don't take anything I said or did here on the table tonight as proof of anything, okay? So there you go. So let me know if you have any questions. And, as always, thanks for watching.